This is a special meeting on September 4th, 2018, concerning movable at 5750 Rand. And I'm going to hand it over to Councillor Burku, who is going to present the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the Demolition Committee of the City of Côte Saint-Luc is careful, well, before we have the resolution, though, this is a, Mr. Schechter, is this a meeting where questions could be asked on the demolition before we pass the resolution?
Sure, you
Okay.
definitely, any interested person who wishes to be heard may be heard.
Okay.
Is there anybody here for that issue about the house, the demolition on Rand?
5750 Rand. Anybody wish to speak on this question? Okay, this is a house that originally looked like that, then was renovated, and now the roof, the sort of upper floor is going to be removed, and they're going to expand and add a second story. Anybody have any comments? No? Okay, so I'm going to read the resolution because we had this at the last council meeting in August. Whereas the Demolition Committee of the City of Côte Saint-Luc has carefully considered the application for a certificate of authorization for the demolition of 5750 Rand, said application filed by Mrs. Viorica Saranuta. Whereas the Demolition Committee has reviewed all submissions related to the said application. Whereas the evaluation of the building has been determined at 160,800, sorry, 160,800, 160, no, it's $160,800. Whereas the applicants intend to use the land located at 5750 Rand to build a new two-story, single-family detached dwelling and have thus submitted preliminary architectural drawings. Whereas the City Council has viewed the preliminary drawings and deemed them to conform to the City of Côte Saint-Luc's bylaws and agree that the proposed new building fit into the streetscape and surroundings on Rand Avenue. Whereas no evidence has been presented to demonstrate that the proposed demolition would cause disruptions to the neighborhood that are any greater than the normal inconveniences associated with such a demolition. Whereas no evidence has been presented that the proposed demolition would cause any other undue prejudice to the neighbors. Whereas all of the procedures established by the City of Côte Saint-Luc have been met when considering the present application, for all of the foregoing reasons, it was moved by myself that I hereby move that the City of Côte Saint-Luc's Demolition Committee grant the certificate of authorization for the demolition of the existing single-family detached dwelling located at 5750 Rand, situated on cadastral lot 1052741. Approve the prospectus for the new two-story proposed single-family detached dwelling, which you see on the projection above, and that the granting of the said demolition and approval of said prospectus are contingent upon the following conditions. And here we're adding many conditions. That the applicant's contractors furnished the City of Côte Saint-Luc with proof of insurance, which is satisfactory to the city. That the necessary monetary guarantee of $32,160 be obtained pursuant to bylaw 2345, the whole within the 30 days following the date of this decision. That construction delays be 1 year from the time the building permits for the new dwellings are issued. This is not what we agreed to. Sorry.
4 months.
Mr. Senecal, we agreed to 4 months.
Yeah, it's here, Dita.
Where is it?
I have it in my version. Are you reading the wrong version?
I don't know which version I have now. I'm not sorry. Apologize.
You want to do this one?
Which version do you have? This is the version that was delivered to me.
Completed within 4 months.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay, because we negotiated a more strict deadline. That the construction delays, but here it also says be 1 year from the time the building permits be issued.
Yeah, but we're completed
normal.
within 4 months. The standard is 1 year, but we're completed within 4 months.
That's not what we agreed to. We agreed to 4 months, not 1 year.
So 1 year should be changed to 4 months.
You build within 4 months?
Yeah, it was negotiated with the owner.
To
Sorry.
demolish and build within 4 months?
The demolition work must be conforming to the demolition bylaw. The present certificate of authorization becomes null and void if the work did not start within 3 months after issuing the certificate and is not completed within 4 months after starting the work. Okay, so we're
So
not,
do we just remove that bullet point entirely since one of the conditions already covers it?
this was
the demolition.
negotiated between the engineering department, and our director of engineering is sitting here, and the owner of the property. The present certificate of authorization becomes null and void if the work does not start within 3 months after issuing the certificate and is not completed within 4 months after starting the work.
Yes, that's the
Right.
demolition, that's good.
Okay, so the construction delay, Mr. Schechter, is not in. That paragraph has to be deleted.
Correct.
So they deleted.
I concur.
Deleted it.
Okay, you concur.
That's correct.
Okay,
Right here.
okay, so I'm reading
So
the same thing.
after the paragraph that you read out that the necessary monetary guarantee of $32,160.
Right.
We then delete the following paragraph and then you continue to read on from the items in bold.
Right, correct.
Okay,
Okay,
understood.
thank you. So now, working hours are 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. during weekdays and no work permitted on weekends and statutory holidays. The construction site must be protected by a fence conforming to Construction Bylaw 2088-9, solid at least 6 feet in height and completely opaque. The construction site and the adjacent public property must be maintained during the work. An invoice will be sent to the owner if the public property is not maintained. The existing trees must be protected during the work. To park equipment on the street, the owner must apply for an occupation permit at the cost of $100 per day, plus an application fee of $75 for 5 days before the occupation of the street. The owner will be held responsible for all damages caused to public property during demolition and construction work. The $2,500 deposit will be invoiced when the construction permit will be issued. This deposit is an estimate in case of damages caused to public property during demolition and construction work, and if the deposit is not enough to cover the cost of the damages, an invoice will be sent to the owner. All measures must be undertaken to prevent inconveniences related to noise, dust, pollution, dirty streets, and vermin. Not more than 5 days after demolition work is completed, the lot must be cleaned of all debris and/or material. The demolition debris must be transported out of the site, off the site, and cannot be left on city property.
I have a question.
Yeah, so, seconder, I'm going to explain, and then you'll,
Seconded by Councillor Kajewski.
yeah. Okay,
Discussion?
so the thing is, I just want to explain, and then you can pose the questions. This came up last month, and there was a few residents of the neighborhood that sent us some letters of objection, and we took their concerns into account, and after due consideration and consultation, and also we met with the owner, the applicant, we negotiated a very strict timeline, because normally, when you do a demolition reconstruction, you have a year to do the work. As you can just see, we've taken that out of the, standard clause, and we've now imposed, he's got to start the work within 3 months, and he's got to finish it within 4 months.
It's not just the demolition, that's the work.
So everything. The present certificate of authorization becomes, if the work, that's a work for demolition and construction. Is that correct, Mr. Senecal?
Yes, that's correct.
Demolition and construction.
Councillor Burke.
Okay.
And he's comfortable with that.
Are you?
Yes. Eric,
want-
yeah.
Vous êtes qui? Vous êtes le propriétaire?
That's Andre.
Ok.
Okay,
Pouvez-vous vous avancer, s'il vous plaît?
okay, we'll do a question period in the middle, it's fine. Oh, pas de problème. Oui,
Non, on
Non, je-
comprend. Oui.
Oui.
Parce que ici, c'est très important, ça va pas me prendre un an de construction.
Non.
4 mois, vous pensez que vous êtes
Moi,
capable?
dans 1 mois, j'ai fini le travaux extérieur.
Okay,
1 mois, ça me prend démolition puis finir tout à l'extérieur.
Alors, ça vous convient si on dit dans la résolution, on a dit, vous avez 3 mois pour commencer et 4 mois pour terminer.
OK, fantastique.
4 mois à partir, c'est-à-dire la façon, c'est après l'émission du certificat, parce que vous devez, le présent, vous devez démolir une partie et après vous avez 4 mois pour terminer. Ça vous convient? Vous avez négocié avec M. Sénécal?
Je
Tout
vais
est bon?
commencer demain, je pense.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So as you can see, this is what we did. So now, I think that's very
That's very
clear.
good. So it's
Okay.
been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Does Ms. Cohen have questions?
No,
She
I'm
got her
fine. I
question
got my
answered.
answer.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And move for adjournment of that meeting. Councillor Kovac,
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
seconded by Councillor Torchman. All in favor? Adjourned.